Hey everyone, and welcome to the March edition of 2025 of the Instructor Community Call. My name is Kyle Rosenthal, and thank you very much for your time of joining with us. It's kind of going to be a bit of a light session this time compared to some of our previous ones, mainly because we don't have any guests this month, but there's a few people I kind of had lined up, but everyone was head down on some projects. But what I wanted to do is make sure that we still did have some cadence, and also did do some recognition for our recognition of our instructor awards and that sort of thing, because it's been a little while since we've done one. So the agenda today. So welcome, our usual sort of roundup of various different items in the course worlds, and of course, mainly that's in the Microsoft worlds, as well as some upcoming events that you might see us at or in behind, or ones that are just going to be generally useful. And then we move on to our instructor recognition. So that's me. That's our person for today. So as I said, it's kind of light with regards to guest speakers, because we don't have any today, but yeah, we'll cover across some good information anyway. All right, so just a little bit of a heads up on some updates on here, and there was a date that's in here that I needed to get a bit of an update on, but I'll push that through. It'll be on the Skillable website for our mock training. You'll see some updates come into there. But as you would all be aware, the Azure passes have been retired. Therefore, all of the Azure Pass courses have also been retired. Now, there are some of the courses which are currently sort of in limbo as such, or simply got retired because there wasn't something that was available to rejig within them. But mostly across the board now, most of the courses that used to rely on on Azure passes have now been updated and made available as Cloud Slice courses. And you'll see some more of those come out, and obviously now that's the new norm. So as we start going forward with new courses being released, you'll also then see those new courses will be we'll have the Cloud Slice attached to them. So as I said, it's the new norm. And obviously, as an instructor, one of the things that you have to make sure that you are aware of is just basically making sure you're able to operate within the restrictions or the limits that are attached to Cloud Slice type courses. So therefore, there will be some things that maybe you used to be able to do to demonstrate within the lab environment, that maybe you might need to have to use your own your own MCT subscription to be able to do some of those demos within. Just be aware of that. The other thing to be aware, of course, is that there is other restrictions with regards to some courses that I'll remind you of shortly. But that's for things like where there's tenants that are being created. That's not Cloud Slice, but tenant versions. They will potentially have some limits on them as well, and so I'll kind of remind you of those shortly. Newly published courses that have come out. So these are the ones that have been published in the last month or so. So yeah, there are new courses that are coming out. With the new courses as they're being released, we will publish those out again onto the Skillable site where we have the summary of all the Microsoft courses. So keeping a heads up on that, an eye on that page, as well as that. What you'll see on there, it will be some of the new or upcoming courses as well. So one of the things that that as MCTs that we always kind of okay, well, when's the next one coming up? And why do we ask that? Is because the training center is always asking us. So you're being asked when's this next course being released? Well, this is where you can go to find out. Is onto the Skillable page that sort of basically has a roadmap of when courses are coming out, and also then when they're being retired as well. Just one thing to, like, as I sort of mentioned, was with regards to the with regards, sorry, to the just trying to unhide a slide so I can go to it. With regards to the tenants, and I do get asked this a few times. I've been asked this a few times about it. Is just bear in mind those restrictions around some of the tenants that have been put into place. The main one that's going to affect you is going to be the last item that's on there, right? Which is the 7 days. This is a restriction which is put on by Microsoft. It's with the tenants that are being issued out. So therefore, there's not really much that can be done to adjust it or anything like that. So just bear that in mind, right? Is that the 7 days for some of the, and it will state clearly on the course page. So your operations people should be aware of it when they're booking the courses. But the 7 days is from when the student first launches a lab. So if you have a course which is running over multiple weeks, and we've got customers who do that, just bear in mind for this restriction, right? Is that if you've got a course which you are building, or a lab that you're building over multiple days, then you also need to take into consideration how you're going to do that. So whether that's shifting, the lab portion of the course into one block, however you want to sort it out, that's but as long as you're aware of the restrictions, then you also be aware of the fact that you need to work around those restrictions as well. The other thing is that you might find pop up a temporary access password. Now, the temporary access password is how we're being able to avoid a lot of the MFA part of it. In fact, I've got an old note in there which is about the MFA for Azure Pass, because of course we're not doing Azure Passes anymore. So let me quickly update that. There you go. Nothing to see here. But so you might see a temporary access pass. The other thing is, and it shouldn't really affect the courses that you're going to be running as part of the Microsoft official courseware, but it might be for some of the courses that might be based on some of the applied skills, as an example. Is just bear in mind that when you start up, there may be a period of time, and it's only going to be short. It won't be a long period. Like, when I say a period of time, it might be a couple of minutes, where there might still be some resources spinning up in Azure, right? So obviously it's going to be a course, like your lab is going to go for an extended period of time. So don't panic if everything's not there straight away. Just kind of give it a little bit of a pause until until you're ready to go. So as you we'll all be aware, with anything to do with cloud, there is a little bit of patience required with things, because there's items being spun up and that sort of thing. So just a couple of things that have happened going into the chat. So Kurt and John, welcome to your first community call. Really appreciate your time. This is not a usual format, because we do normally have someone else come in to be able to sort of have some extended chats around. So just bear that in mind, that next time will be different again. Armando and Julian, welcome, and it's good to see some familiar names. So Armando, I don't have any of the details about DP 600 or 700 at the moment. There is an ongoing discussion with Microsoft around that. So it's affecting all of the ALHs at the moment. So yeah, we're deep in the weeds of actually trying to get some solutions put into place, and once that occurs, then we'll have it released. I realize that's not the answer you were hoping for, but just know that it is being worked on. And Julian, good to see that you saw that access pass. I just missed seeing you the other week in London. I heard that you were there, and I I went looking, but I didn't find you. So but next time. Um, so the yeah, so the we understand that there's frustration around the like the courses not being available and that sort of thing. Like I have conversations with customers all the time around it, because it's like, people, well, why isn't this available? And trust us, if we could make it available for you, we would make it available. At the end of the day, that's how we make our money, is by selling you the lab. So if like, as soon as things are available, we will make sure that they are. So um, the so actually no, so Armando, that's a good question. So the save feature is available on the labs that we need them to be in. So say, for instance, the Cloud Slice labs, where everything is kind of broken up into the smaller portions, they will not have the save feature in, because the idea is like the exercise is supposed to be done within that 1 hour period or 30-minute period or whatever it might be. For the longer labs, where there is, say for instance, the tenants, that's the thing that are created, that are designed to be kind of like the build ones, they will have the save in there. So the save is always going to be available on the labs where it makes sense for them to be in. For the labs that are designed to be done like sort of in that shorter time frame, then they won't be made available within there. The other thing I should say as well, for those Cloud Slice labs, just one thing to bear in mind, right, is that if you need to go and redo them, you can certainly do that. The students can go and basically redo the labs in their own time. Or say, for instance, if something goes wrong in one of them, they make some missteps and they want to start again, they can certainly do that. They can still cancel out and come back in. And again, that's the beauty of those Cloud Slice ones, is that rather than having to discard a week's worth of work, maybe they're only discarding like 30 minutes or something like that, or hopefully not too much, that they're then going back in to do a restart of. So yeah, great questions. I really appreciate it, Armando. Okay, so next, just a quick chat about the sort of some of the upcoming events that you might be interested in, or might be seeing. Now, again, if there's things that like say for instance, there's events that you might want to promote, particularly community events, please let us know, or let me know, and we'll add those as well. I think this might be something that we add in as sort of like one of our little regular, hey, this is what's coming up, so that you can then see where some of the Skillable team might be, but also some of the community events, that sort of thing, that are coming up as well. So the events to look out for. So first off, the next one is going to be sorry, I'll just Kurt's got a question. So for the feature that allows instructors to view the learners' desktops, will the overview page ever be made to show the bird's eye views of the overall desktops? It should be. So there should be. So are you saying, Kurt, that you're not actually getting to see like on the summary page, you're not seeing the live, like you're not seeing the live little sort of summaries? I think from memory that they are screenshots or they should be screenshots that are updated every minute or so. But yeah, I don't believe that they would be put into live. Yeah, so there shouldn't be blank or black. I'll have a chat with the team about that. They should be screenshots, but those screenshots should be updated every minute or so. There you go. Okay, so yeah, we might need to dive a bit deeper into that. Maybe see if there is some reasons why the screenshots aren't showing. Just as a I guess from those that are getting those that are seeing the blank or the black, what browser are you using and what operating system? And then for those that are seeing the screenshots, is like what browser and operating system in there as well. So if you just drop that into chat, I can use that to have a chat with the team. Yeah, so it's yeah, because it's like it's a feature that should be available. It should be a like it's screenshots. It's not live, but it should be a screenshot that refreshes every hour or so. So uh, okay, no worries. All right, well, thank you for that because so like the last time I was using it, I was actually using the screenshots. So I'll feed that back to the team as being something that we need to have a look at. Wow. And yet something else that's been good that's come out of this, some bugs that we need to a bug that we need to have a look at. All right. Groovy. Thank you. All right. So some of the events that are coming up. So coming up fast is the MCT Summit in North America. So that's in the 21st to 23rd of March. So coming up in a couple of weeks' time. And then following that is the MCT Learning Day. Now, this is just for MCTs. It is online. So for the details of that, go into the MCT Lounge to be able to get access to that. Just as because obviously, like for those that are MCTs, there has also been some changes to the MCT program. And I know there's like on one of the messenger chats that I'm part of, there's been lots of questions. Oh, what does this do? What does that affect, etc. The source of truth for anything within there, go to the MCT Lounge, right? That's going to be the place to have a look at, and that's also the place to ask those questions because then you're going to get the official answers, which are the answers that you can reply that you can actually access into. Yes, Armando, for sure. I was going to do that for the AI skills. I don't have a direct link for the MCT Lounge one, but certainly for the AI Skills Fest, which is the other one, which is the next one down. That is in April. I meant to grab the actual date. There you go. Thanks, Julian. Now, Liberty, who we've had on as a guest speaker in the past, was actually promoting this the other day as well. There is a world record attempt being made during the AI Skills Fest. So join in for that, and then you can tell your friends and that you're part of a world record attempt or potentially a world record holder if it's a successful attempt, which hopefully it will be. So yeah, so make sure you do navigate to that, and then as well as that, and again for the Microsoft side of things, coming up in May is the Microsoft Build. So you'll be able to like if you haven't already got signed up for that, if you're part of the developer sort of community, then that might be something to have a look at. Is online as well as in person for a lot of the events. In the past, again, we've had some folk come in. We've had some chats from Damon as well as from as well as from Quinn around assisting at the events. And so Microsoft Build is one of the ones where there is oftentimes a call from Microsoft for folk to be able to assist. And again, I think from memory that will actually go through the MCT Lounge for that. So keep an eye out for any messages in there as they start getting closer to doing some staffing within there. But my understanding for this one is that the staffing for it is being done through the Microsoft, so through the MCT community and the MVP community versus through us, which it has been in the past. So as I said, keep an eye out for some of those messages. All right. So moving on then to instructor recognition. Now it's been a little while since we've had one of the instructor calls. So it was December last year that was our last one. So it's been a couple of months. So we've certainly got some folk that have we've got some new achievements that have been put in over the time. And for those that are joining us for the first time, this is by far one of my favorite parts of the session, because this is where we get to recognize and give you some idea of the impact that you may not realize that you have on the students in your class and that sort of thing. Now, the remembering, of course, that these the recognition part of this that's on here is based off what's off our platform. So you may have been delivering in the past before you started doing virtual machines or virtual environments. That's the hosted virtual environments on Skillable. The other thing that's come out of some of these chats is that there are some folk who are who have got multiple accounts. So we've got people that have gone, hey, we've got, I've got much more than that, but I've got 16 different accounts with 16 different training centers. If you let us know, we can work on consolidating those as well. But certainly, we've had some of the recent milestones that have gone. So since the December call, we've issued 1,862 badges to 1,237 instructors. So there's a lot of folk that have had their first, second, third, etc. like badges that are being delivered. We've had 510 folk that have delivered first class, and for those that are the old hands at this, you may vaguely remember the nerves that set in on that first class. So the congratulations to those, and then all the way through to the other end for our 750 classes delivered. We've had one person who cruised past that. So I think on the call, let's see who we've got that's on our list here. I've got so Julian, congratulations on your 25 classes. Now I know that Julian, you've done more than 25, but well done on 25 on our platform. So appreciate that, as well as just seeing if there's anyone else that's on the list that's in. So, okay, Kurt. So you will probably appear. Okay, so you should have probably been on this one. If not, you'll definitely be on our next one. So I would guess that probably might be a late addition into here. So congratulations, Kurt, for your 25 classes, and well done. And in fact, I know that we must have just ticked over. Actually, we might have just ticked over, or we might have had you in your 25 classes in the December call, but now we've got you for your going to here students. So because I see that you're in here for our over 250 students. So there you go. So yes, I think that's probably what it was. So you go back to December. You would have been in our December list then. So this is everything that's happened past December. So again, hey, we've got someone who's reached over 9,000 students as the milestone within here. You will probably all appreciate just how fast these add up, but how little you actually see how fast they add up. And this is why I love this part of the instructor call, is because it gives you a chance to kind of reflect on the fact that you have actually been involved with that many of the students, because when slogging in week after week doing your training and that thing, and you have all the faces come in and all the faces leave, and then you, and then it be like, it's not until someone actually goes, do you know, you actually, you've spoken to and you've affected the lives of 250 folk, that you go, really, 250 people, like that seems like it was that seems like, a lot, or like, or yeah. So for me, it always seemed like it was a lot. Like, when you started adding up how many people have you actually passed through your classroom, that it always seems to be yeah, like it was always a surprise as to how many folk you actually had come through. So the Amanda, I don't know the answer to that question, but I suspect it probably is. I don't know. Kristen might be able to tell us that. So we'll see. We'll check that out though, to see if it does count. I think it should for the ESI. The only thing will be whether it's the same instructor account, because obviously, we kind of have to have one account that we link everything to, or at least consolidate the numbers through to. So but yeah, so if you are, if you're, the person who's affected your first student or affected your 9,000 student, well done, and just kind of keep that in mind as to what that effect is going to have. Like, that's someone who is going to potentially have a better job, going to have, going to know how to do something that they didn't know before they started in your class, that they now do, and that's going to, maybe give them a little bit of a lift. If someone asks them, hey, do you know how to, like, I've got this problem, can you solve it? And they go, yes, I can. And it's because it's been one of those ones that you're one of those people that have been through your class. So always take that moment of, okay, how do I, what is it, the effect that I've done, that I've had on those folk that have come through my classes. So yeah, so I said, whether it's your first class, whether it's your 500th class, whether it's your first student, whether it's your 9,000 student, or your 20,000 student, Armando, then congratulations, and keep it up. And always make sure that you keep in mind what it is that you're doing, or I also find that it helps for those times when maybe you lose track of, maybe you lose a little bit of that sort of the love of what you're doing. Kind of reflecting on what you've achieved through the people that you're talking to. That's also a way maybe to sort of to reconnect with why it was that you started doing training in the first place. So congratulations. So congratulations, Bilal, for 200 to 250 students. It's it's always a like I said, whether it's one or 500 or 250, whatever it is, like, well done, congratulations. And as I said, keep that in mind when you have those moments of, oh, got another class this week, right? That's it's, you're there for the students, right? So all right, a little bit of a roundup to remind folk, and particularly those folk that maybe are joining for the first time, of some of the offers that we have for MCTs and for trainers in on the Skillable platform. We have the free access to prep for classes, of course. So therefore, anytime that you are scheduled for a class, if it's an internal class, that sort of thing, then you can like internal content, that you can jump in and start prepping for that. You can leverage off those hands-on environments through things like the MCT All Access Pass, which is to the wider challenge labs, as well as to the mock lab access pass. Now, one thing just to bear in mind with both of those, as well as this one, the AWS All Access Pass, with those, they are rotating So therefore, they do expire every year, same as the credential does. So therefore, you do need to make sure you're renewing. So if, say, for instance, you like you go to access the labs and you go, oh, I don't have access to anything anymore. Just bear in mind that your lab access may have expired, and all you need to do is just reapply for it, and we'll add it back on. But it's part of our agreement that we have to make sure that we expire the access, just simply so that we don't have folk who are no longer MCTs getting access to the mock labs. So therefore, you may need to do a little bit of work. We will generally remind you about it before it comes up, but just bear that in mind. All right. As well as that, of course, the instructor recognition, which is what we've just done there. So the instructor recognition, so for our badging, as well as the for the classes and for the students. And again, within there, if you have multiple accounts, then reach out and we'll be able to look at consolidating the numbers together for you. So therefore, make sure it's got the real set of numbers for you, and make sure you display your Credly badges with pride, like, because again, it shows what you've done, and what your experience has been as well. Rightio. So that does give us some time for any, and we normally kind of don't have time for this because we've got our guests come through. But if you've got any questions, that's the thing that you want to raise now, then feel free to put those through. We should be able to, I think, from memory, get you to come into to come off mic if you want to be able to come off mute, and we can actually talk. Otherwise, drop it into the chat or the Q&A. So, and I'll give folk a couple of a few seconds to kind of either come off mute or type in. So the other thing to say, so I said earlier, like, sort of, if there's particular topics you want us to have a chat about during these things, please make sure that you let us know on that. The other thing is that if you have, say for instance, there's someone that you want to be able to hear, hear from, like if there's, say for instance, as an example, when we had Liberty come on to talk about the process of certifications and that sort of thing, and what how the roadmaps and the thing were being created. That was sparked off a conversation that I'd had with someone about, hey, look, it would be really great to be able to know how this occurs. Same with the December, I think it was, when we had David Alfassi come through as well. When David talked about the certification process and how you could get involved as trainers, and not just as MCTs, but as subject matter experts across the various different certifications. So if there's anything like that you think, I really like, it would be good if we could talk to someone, let me know, let us know, and I can then sort of try and reach out through my network of people to be able to have that chat with. So, all right. So I think all the questions have been asked as we've been going, which is also good, right? So Bilal. So Bilal's mentioned the instructions in some labs in the Azure fundamentals, as an example, need some updating because there's things like the advanced settings being in different places and that sort of thing. That is really it is really good feedback. Just to let you know where the instructions come from, particularly for Microsoft. The instructions from Microsoft are drawn directly from GitHub. Now there is generally there'll be someone who takes ownership of updating the GitHub repository which has those instructions in there, and obviously as you would all appreciate, things change in the things change in the cloud. So if there's something that you notice like that, then make sure that you go back to GitHub, and then you can actually do some updates into there. You can do some suggestions into there as to updates, etc. But that's where the updates for where the instructions come from, and it just means that everyone has the same set of instructions, regardless of where you're doing the training, which is good. Um, and Julian helpfully put that in there as well. So yeah, exactly, Julian. So Julian's mentioned that the trainer prep guide should also have a link to the GitHub repo for the course. Otherwise, I always just do a search for GitHub and then the course number as well, and that will then put it into there too. So Joshua's asked for the live chat button no longer being available. So that's the live chat to our support, I assume you're referring to. That depends on the training organization and the agreement that they have with Skillable for support, as to whether that live chat's available. So if that's something that you want to have available, then have a chat with your with the training organization and get them to have a chat with their Skillable account executive, who'll then be able to work with them to be able to have that put back in place. So yeah, that's the reason for that. So good question, Joshua. All right, been a really good sort of chats and questions and that sort of thing. So this is the last call for if there's anyone who wants to ask questions or make mention of things. Otherwise, we will put up the last bit of our resources. So I've got a question that's come through. Oh, so Joshua, yeah. So I noticed that Joshua, I did actually see the question. I didn't see in the Q&A. I didn't actually see what the rest of the Q&A was. Right. So let me have a look to see. So most courses have about a dozen or more tenants and chances with the challenge labs. To confirm when a lab is launched, they have 7 days to follow through with that specific lab. Right. So yeah. So if they so that is per session or per attempt. So yeah. So absolutely. So that 7 days is in that specific instance, if you like, and then what happens is once they then if you then kill off that instance, then you have a fresh instance. That fresh instance has 7 days of access in it. So that 7 days is only for basically it's the validity of of the tenant that you get given when you launch it. So that at the time that you launch it, that's when you get to see that, and then that's when that timer starts. So yeah. So say for instance, if you have and I should also say, so for the courses that have more than that have a dozen or more labs, they generally won't have that tenant restriction. It's only for those, it'll generally be for those specific courses where there is actually a tenant, which is for one of those extended environments. So think some of the security labs as an example, where security courses where you have to build from an on-prem to the cloud and then build that out, and therefore you're having across the same thing. So so Bilal, I thought everything was increased to 5 now. We will yeah, so I'll have a chat with the challenge teams in there. And so for new instructors, what key steps should they take to track their progress effectively from the start? So essentially, once you're registered, you should be able to track your progress, so you're thinking your progress for the badges and that sort of thing, that should be in the instructor dashboard. That should be showing now. So you should be able to see it within there as to what your progress is through the environments. If you're curious or if you're wondering, then contact us, and we can also check as well, to see that that everything's been recorded properly for you. As well as that, we can also look, again, if you've got multiple accounts, being able to consolidate some of those numbers as well. Hey, Joshua, that's what we're here for, and I really appreciate really appreciate it. Kurt, I believe that we actually do send out some. We do send out invites. Kristen, do you know the process for that? Might be able to jump in and help. I'm I'm just the talent. No. So a lot of the back end sort of things I am not heavily involved in. Okay, Kurt. So so we'll follow up. My understanding is that it should be going out to everyone who's registered in the platform as an instructor. The other thing I should also point out as well. Let me see if I can grab quickly up a bit of a handy sort of playlist as well on YouTube that you might want to get to for any of our past for the past instructor community calls and that sort of thing, as well as some general general items that exist within the Skillable world. There's our YouTube channel, so you can actually go and have a look into there as well to see the various different ones. But if you go and have a look at the instructor community calls, I think from memory we published those into there as well. Let's see I thought that's where they went to. Anyway, I will find out where the instructor community calls ones go. So again, if you want to see some of the past ones, you can also go access into there. And in fact, I think maybe it's the wrong link that I put through. Let me put you into this link. Is probably the better link. There we go. So if you go to so Kirsten's put in the playlist just for the community call, but then I've also put in our overall YouTube channel as well. So you'll see lots of useful things will pass through there as well, particularly with new functions and that sort of thing. You'll see some of those come through from our from some of the like lab developer environments, that thing. So the lab developer, obviously for the custom environments, but a lot of the things that occur within there, we then fold into some of the processes as to how we present, the vendor training courses as well. So, and also vendor trainers of training courses that are written on our platform, such as, say, for instance, Veeam, that sort of thing. Citrix, they'll be on our platform directly, so therefore a lot of those things get implemented a lot faster as well. All right, so the last thing is the resources. So the instructor recognition, the instructor dashboard, bookmarks in there, as well as skillable.com/mock. So that's where you can go for the as mentioning earlier, the roadmap for courses, particularly for the mock courses. Also, we are on Slack, so make sure you join us on there if you're not already there. And if you have anything that you want to give us some feedback on, whether it's products, whether it's items for here, if you go to feedback.skillable.com, and then you'll be able to put some information into there. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And this has actually been a really, really good session. It's been awesome to have some of those live questions. Make sure you do come to next month's session, and bring any of those other questions as well, as you might have them. All right. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Armando, I am not going to be in San Diego. No, so not this time. But I expect that it will be a good session and a lot of fun. So, or sorry, a good event, and a lot of fun. So, yeah, say hi to the team while you're there. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next month.